Here we are, very excited. So, welcome everybody to our Crown Chakra Workshop today. So, we started with a root that was about grounding. The sacral gave us flow, the solar plexus gave us power, heart gave compassion, throat gave truth, the third eye last month gave vision, and now the crown is inviting us to remember who we truly are, beyond roles, beyond stories, beyond anything. We are a soul connected to all that exists. You can gently bring your hands above your head. That's usually where we locate our crown chakra. And as you just feel the top of your head, you can take a deep breath and feeling the energy, and you can feel the energy coming from your root chakra, from the bottom of your body, going up until the top of your head, and then going down like a circle. And you might feel in your heart, may I remember my divine nature. May I live in presence. May I live in peace and in connection. Connection is a very important word for us today. You can just bring out your hands, open your eyes. And I always like to start with the 2-minute reset. The crown chakra, the frequency is 963 hertz. And before we start, I'm going to do something similar to last month. We did an exercise at the same time of the frequency. So these 2 minutes, they are very short, but they are very powerful. And today I want to invite you during these 2 minutes, I would like to invite you to bring a challenge in your mind, bring up that challenge, take it into the moment that we are having the 2 minutes. Allow yourself to tune into a greater field of wisdom, especially because you will be hearing a specific frequency that is really connected to the crown chakra, to this expansion. And as you connect with that challenge, form a question in your mind. Imagine yourself tapping in a browser, of your mind, like Google. Imagine that you are tapping Google, your problem, you are asking a question. And when you ask that question, keep in mind that you are calling in information. And then just allow the frequency to flow through you. Take this with passion. Don't put your opinion. If something arises, don't say it's good, it's bad, it's whatever it is. Don't put any opinion. Just watch, just witness, and allow the information to come, the answer to come right away, or maybe to come through a dream or through a conversation with a friend or through something that I'm going to say today. Just allow the answer to flow, but keep in mind that the more you put out that question, the more you invite the answer to come in, okay? So I'm going to start the 2 minutes, bring up that challenge in your mind, ask any questions, feel free to close the camera if you prefer, and let's go. You gently return. 2 minutes, that fast. And you can inhale, exhale to integrate the moment. I felt a little bit emotional. The sense I had, it was that sometimes the problem with the answer is not hearing it, is when the answer is in the middle of so many things, so many distractions, so many voices. I was feeling like a lot. And then sometimes it's just hard to find it when there is so much happening. I don't know if anybody here wants to share anything that maybe you felt during these 2 minutes. Feel free. We come from the light, and I spoke last month, the third eye and the crown chakras, they are both the transcendental, right? The ones that go beyond our identity or the social, they go beyond that. So we are moving from this light to the pure awareness of the crown chakra. So if before we wanted to see, which is the third eye, now we want to know. I know I'm not good, I'm really going to say it, I'm not good on pronouncing the names, although I studied how to pronounce them. Sahasrara, that's how you say it. Sahasrara. It means 1,000-petaled and represents infinite expansion. And I know someone here loves the word expansion. So in this meeting, we have this point between heaven and earth, where individual consciousness merges with universal consciousness. So we are going to speak today about spiritual connection, divine wisdom, enlightenment, and faith. When we have the scale of emotions from Hawkins, the one that is on the top is enlightenment. And enlightenment is exactly what we look for on the crown chakra. It's the remembrance that you are not a drop in the ocean, you are the ocean in a drop. And this is just a very kind beginning. So when we speak about the element here, in other chakras, it's more easy to have earth, to have water, to have fire, to have air, specific elements. Here we have pure consciousness, beyond form, beyond time. It's not about thinking, but being. And the crown chakra is teaching us that it is important to surrender the illusion of control, to trust the divine intelligence that flows through all life, and to live in awareness, not attachment. We are going to speak about this because here in this slide, we have the word that is the biggest challenge for this chakra. So when open, we experience peace, clarity, inspiration, and unity with all creation. But when this chakra is blocked, we may feel disconnected, maybe without purpose, or a little bit numb spiritually. I always like to speak about where this chakra starts to develop. And so far we had, we are in the womb, or when we start speaking, or when we start going to the kindergarten and engage with the other kids, or when we start wanting to say, there is always a specific phase. Here, this chakra, it's a little bit more hard to really specify because it develops through adulthood as we integrate all the other chakras. So we seek meaning beyond personality. And here is exactly when we move from what do I want from life to what does life want from me. It's a little bit different. And when we move to this second question, we are going in the direction of spiritual maturity. And this is where the self expands into transcendence. So we begin to sense a higher order guiding events. We start having synchronicities and insights and moments of grace, and those specific conversations that happen on the perfect timing. And here is where we want to develop our higher mind and go into divine consciousness. The first questions I have here: when have you felt connected to something greater? And do you allow yourself to experience wonder, or do you explain it away? Because this is the kind of memory I want to bring back This is the kind of moment I want to remind. And I know for anyone here that did a group retreat or an individual retreat with me, there was this moment which it was, unique, something divine, something greater, and you really allow yourself to just go out of, to zoom out from your human being to zoom in into just being. So it's really exciting. Main task, connection. The purpose for this chakra is connection to source, to spirit, to God, to the universe, however you name the sacred, right? And the word sacred is going to happen also a lot of times today. So this is about opening to the flow of divine wisdom and allowing inspiration to guide your life. When we trust that connection, we move beyond fear into faith, and beyond confusion into stillness. If we understand that we are here to experience divine consciousness, to experience the creation of a miracle, and to see life in itself and see everything that happens as a miracle, what is really a miracle? And different people speak different things about what really is a miracle. If we just think a baby coming out of the womb fully formed, how beautiful is that? When we find our way to the things, when we connect to a soulmate, to someone that really understands us and we don't need to say things, when we experience deep wisdom, there are so many moments that they really look like a miracle. The divine is in everything. It is the truth, it is consciousness, and we are sacred beings embedded in a sacred universe. So our job is to awaken that and see it and live it and be it, right? To shine out into the world. And this is the true meaning of namaste. When we say namaste at the end of the meditations, I don't know, do you know what is the meaning of namaste here? I don't know if you have idea. You can just, nod if you don't want to. Namaste. The divine lives in me in a way that it can stay, that it lives in you. And the divine is in everything around me. When we say namaste, it's like saying, I bow to the divine in you. It's this connection in which we really believe that the divine is living in ourselves in a way that can stay, but it also lives in the others, and that is in everything. This connection is, I feel it's deeper than what I can express. If we really think how connected we are, for example, to our mom, considering that we came out from her body. How beautiful is that connection? How beautiful is the connection with someone that is in the other side of the ocean, right? Especially when we feel the person, especially when we can see, what they are wearing or what they are saying or thinking, or if they are crying. It's special, right? I can see your heart. Let me open here. I see you. Yes, I see you. It's super, super beautiful. What are the causes of blockages? Attachment to ego, for example, disconnection from spirit, cynicism or spiritual doubt, over-intellectualization, trauma, or loss of faith. There are so many reasons, things that can block our ground chakra. And we feel it also in your body. If you start feeling headaches, dizziness, insomnia, chronic fatigue, or a sense of emptiness, a lack of purpose, feeling that you are disconnected, you can stop and do those 2 minutes of crown chakra that we just did at the beginning. 2 minutes are super, super powerful. So what is the biggest the biggest challenge? The biggest challenge is attachment. And we spoke about this at the beginning. Attachment keeps us clinging to identity, to roles, to beliefs, to expectations, to control. Remember when we were speaking now about the blockages, when we are too attached to those things, to all those little stories that make us feel separate from something greater. And that's why after the word attachment, we also have separation. because that's what happens. We separate from all the other things that are really important for connection. So when we are attached, our awareness gets pulled downward into ego and fear instead of rising into clarity and trust. So the crown chakra can't fully open when we are holding on too tightly, even holding on to ideas about who we are, how life should look, or what we think must happen. We are creating this illusion of separation when we are attached. And separation is not real. It's only a perception that comes from clinging to the small self. So healing the crown means gently loosening the grip, letting go of rigid identities, letting go of the need of control or to control outcomes, letting go of the belief that we must rely solely on ourselves. And what is the solution? The solution is surrender. Not giving up, but opening up. Trusting that life is wiser, larger, and more benevolent than the mind can comprehend. When we surrender, even just a little, we remember that we are connected, we are guided, we are held, we trust, right? Trust in ourselves. We have faith. So we have never been separate, only unaware. And as we release attachment, we find that we are more letting go and going into surrender. If you ask someone, what is spiritual awakening? Most people describe spiritual awakening as an interior surrender, which is really, really interesting. As an example, just to really integrate this information, imagine that you are deeply focused on a specific outcome. And this happens so many times. It can be a job offer, it can be a relationship, it can be money, a certain amount of money coming in, or a specific timing that you were, something that you are attached to. You hold into it so tightly that when life flows differently, what happens? We feel anxious, we feel confused, or we feel that something maybe went wrong because we have kind of an attachment to the outcome. The emotional tension, the frustration, the fear, the doubt is attachment. And it pulls your energy downward into control and worry, and you lose the spacious trust that belongs to the crown chakra. So always think about space. The healing begins when you soften that grip. You breathe and you say, maybe life has a wiser path for me than the one I expected. And in that moment of surrender, the crown opens again, is spacious, is pure consciousness, and you reconnect with guidance, intuition, calm, and perspective, because you are no longer clinging to one narrow possibility. And what is really cool here, as I get to know more of you, some of you already know for a few months, and with those people, we already had so many situations in which we just said to each other, let's trust the perfect timing. Maybe there is a better moment. Maybe it's just, the solution for now. Maybe there is something greater for us, even if this is not happening now. Trusting and really applying that in a practical way. Okay. And you know that when I speak about this is exactly what I try to practice with each one of you. So we have attachment that leads to separation, to the illusion of separation. The solution is surrender. And from surrender, we go into unity. So healing means releasing attachment and remembering unity. The surrender is the humble knowing that we belong to something vast and benevolent. I don't have my chat. Open it. Can you speak more about surrendering to X? When we have a meeting booked, and that meeting is really important, and we really want to have that meeting, but suddenly something is happening, and maybe that meeting that we really wanted is not happening in that specific moment. And instead of complaining or feeling tension, feeling anxious, remember all the emotions I was sharing before that we feel. We start feeling some tension. We start feeling more, we are attached to that outcome. I want to have this meeting, or I want to have this job. I apply to this job. I really want this job, and suddenly the job is not happening. Or to this person, the relationship. I'm attached to this relationship. I need this. And then suddenly the person is not there. And surrender here means knowing that you are connected, you are guided. Maybe there is something greater there. And when we think we were never separated, we were only unaware. Unaware means that we were not seeing maybe things the way we could. When you speak about resources or fixes, sometimes it's not about fixing, it's about letting go and connecting. Also, I spoke about the word miracle. What is really a miracle here? What does it mean to have a miracle in this specific challenge that you are going through? But I would like to invite you to bring that question again, release that question, like I was saying, into a browser, like into our Google mind, our Google universe, right? Imagine that you are typing that question and that the universe is bringing you the answer to that question. Well, we are going from knowledge to wisdom. And knowledge fills the mind when we try to justify everything, when we try to have an answer for everything. But wisdom opens the crown. The crown chakra asks us to go beyond information and return to stillness, the place where all answers already exist, even if we don't see them, even if our body is bringing different answers or different signals or a different language. So it's in the silence between thoughts, the peace beneath noise, and the awareness that observes without judgment. So I really invite everyone, anytime, this is the challenge for this month, to pause more often, to bring those questions. What does it really mean to go through this right now? What does it mean to feel this specific situation? Pause and make all the questions and allow the space to bring the answer. Cultural messages and spirituality. Do more or be more? I love this question because there is no right answer here. There is no one better than the other. The modern culture often worships logic and productivity while dismissing stillness and spirituality. And we are taught to do more, achieve more, know more. And yet the crown chakra invites us to be more. So cultural healing here happens when we honor contemplation as much as action, silence as much as speech, being as much as doing. And you can ask yourself, when was the last time you felt, oh, right? Not through effort, but through surrender. You just allow things to go and suddenly, wow, I met someone really cool. Oh, I met this person for my work, this project. Oh, wow. I had a nice conversation with this person from my family. Or wow, someone delivered me a book. That's exactly what I need to read right now is the answers for my questions. So allow that to happen, and that allow is surrender. I know my mentor, he never used the word surrender, he used the word allow. He was always telling me allow, because most of the times you are not allowing it to go through you, not to you, through you. And he was repeating that so many times. So when we forget that the divine is in everything, we treat matter as a substance that we can do whatever we want with. We treat people as they didn't matter, or we create so many crises. So this happens when you move away from the divine and nothing's worth anymore. Everything becomes dispensable, and this is very common in this generation. And to change, what we need to do? We need to treat everything as, do you know what? We need to treat everything as I love seeing their faces. As sacred, right? Tell me, what did you say? Did you say different word? You can unmute yourselves. Imagine what happens when you treat everything as sacred. The food you eat, the food you ingest, the ground you walk on, the people you know, the people you interact every day. Imagine when everything is sacred. I will just suggest, let's change ourselves from inside, knowing that we are all goddesses walking this world and bringing lessons and being the best we can be. Beep. Right? You are already working on it. We don't need to wait for the mastermind. I'm already on it. Neville is amazing. He says that he suggests that we leave the wish fulfilled. And that means we focus less on the process and we focus more on just feeling that it's already happening. I'm already living from the end. My wish is already fulfilled. So whatever happens, I just trust. I just know I am already the be. The wish fulfilled is the be. So it's kind of saying the same with different words. Focus more on being, right? Instead of what is the process. So in terms of signs of imbalances, deficient and excessive, this is important just in case you start feeling some of the signs. The deficiency comes from, not having faith, losing your faith, or feeling depression, confusion, over attachment to material worlds. And then on the opposite side, we have spiritual bypassing, detachment from the body, escapism, obsession with transcendence or perfection, floating away, lack of grounding. When we are too much out there, we need a balance. That can be, I said last time, with the third eye, is very common for healers or for people that meditate a lot and that work a lot in this realm, to need more grounding to ensure that we are not just out there, that we are balancing crown and root chakras. And this is one of the things that happens a lot when I'm doing sound healing sessions. It's common when people have both root and crown chakras not really well balanced, because they are extremes. It's very, very common. Signs of a balanced chakra. We really want to feel this sense of peace and trust in life, of feeling faith. We have clear connection, again, words, connection to guidance, grounded spirituality, heaven meeting earth, joy in simply being. You feel connected to life and guided by intuition. You live with trust, not with control. You just feel it, the wish fulfilled, from Neville Goddard. You experience peace even in uncertainty, even when things are completely confused. You just trust that something greater is happening for me. If that job is not happening, if that conversation, if that message is not coming, okay, there is a better timing. Maybe I'm still learning. Maybe I'm still developing. Maybe there are still things that need to, to organize before. Where emotions live. So this chakra is located at the top of the head, radiating upward like a halo of light. Is connected to the pineal gland, brain, and nervous system. And when open, you may feel tingling or lightness at the crown. When blocked, there could be a heaviness, fatigue, and mental fog. It's very similar to the third eye chakra. There is a bridge here between body and mind, as we already saw also in other chakras. The crown unites the physical and the divine. Through it, the energy of all chakras rises and returns to source. Imagine a pillar of light running from root to crown. And as energy ascends, it carries lessons from each chakra: the stability, the creativity, the power, the love, the truth, the vision, and dissolves them into pure awareness. The more grounded you are, the higher you can reach. And spiritual connection does not mean escaping the body, it means embodying that light. And that's why this is the last chakra being developed, because first you have all the others, and then this is the final one coming. The healing of this chakra begins with allowing yourself to receive either guidance, rest, grace, support. You don't have to strive for enlightenment, it's already within you. And that's why we have here a few questions. So, moving from here, what kind of exercises can we do? Practices. The first one is meditative silence. 5 minutes of simply being. That is a great, great exercise. You can use the 2 minutes that we did at the beginning. You can do a crown breath in which you inhale coming from the top of your head and you exhale through your heart and you feel this circle. The color that we use here is violet. Sometimes we also use the white. The white can be used in both third eye and crown chakras. And you can imagine this light coming in. The walking meditation is really, really good because you feel oneness with nature. You feel connected to this bigger energy. And you allow yourself to also ground, which is so important, is chakra. And gratitude. When we speak about the sacred in everything, gratitude is so connected because if you feel the food you eat is sacred, you are feeling gratitude. You are saying, thank you for this food. Thank you for everyone that allow it to be here. Thank you for this connection that I have. Thank you for this engagement, interaction that I just did with this person. The moment you feel that is sacred, you are already feeling thankful. Safe sharing. We have been doing this every month, and I feel it's a great practice. When you have my connection feels, what can you feel about your connection? My connection feels, if you had to, fill in the blanks, and this is just an example that I put here, closer when I am in silence. This is a great example. If you try to fill the blanks in, I am realizing that a good example for the crown chakra, I am never truly alone. I trust, what can we fulfill here? And in the crown chakra, we can say, I trust that life supports me when I let go. And remember when Claire said, I choose to choose, right? What do I really choose? I choose to live guided by peace rather than fear. I'd like you to choose one of these. My connection feels, I'm realizing, I trust what I choose. And you might write in your notebook, I'm realizing that nature brings me guidance. Something that helps a lot, and that is kind of explained scientifically, is the more you allow yourself to go out from beta state and more into alpha or theta state, the easier it gets to trust and to surrender. Because when we go out into alpha state, especially in theta also, but in alpha, we already have the situation of using both sides of the brain. When we are working or acting, living in beta, just in beta all the time, you have this constant activity going on and the brain almost doesn't stop. When you pause and you do a moment of meditation and you allow yourself to go into alpha state, you are slowing down your brain waves. And when you slow down, you are allowing yourself to go out from your physical senses to go into your sixth sense, in which you are allowing yourself to connect more with your intuition and to really use both sides of the brain. So it's really good to go into alpha state. I'm going to continue. When fear or doubt arise, place your hand on the top of your head and repeat, I am supported by universe. Remember that the top of your head is the crown chakra. Okay, it's the connection, it's the channel that opens to the divine. So you are always welcome to say, I'm guided and protected. And usually we put our hands in our heart, right? We put our hands in our belly, on our stomach, or in our throat, but it's not common. The place where you we usually put our hands less is in the top of the head, which is exactly the channel. It's a very interesting reminder. Each moment of awakening contributes to collective consciousness. So when one person remembers their light, it illuminates the path for others. So unity consciousness is not about sameness, it's about harmony. Just as many notes create one chord, humanity creates one song. And you are a vital note in that divine symphony. So treat everything as divine because the divine gave us life. Say thank you for the time you used for something or with someone. Thank you for the food. Thank you for the friends, the people. Thank you for you that are here, inspiring each others. This is so, so beautiful. And it's more powerful than we can imagine. The challenge for this month, and I have a few ones here, but for me, the first one is the most powerful one. Ask a question and let the guidance come. Sit in meditation, watch what happens. It can be in dreams, it can be in messages. Maybe you are receiving a message on your phone, maybe you are receiving a book, maybe you are receiving an email, maybe someone is having a conversation with you that makes all the sense. For me, this is the one I really suggest. You have other challenges here, like spending 5 minutes in spacious silence, no phone, no goal, just presence. Notice one attachment, a role, a belief, an expectation, a desired outcome in which we are kind of forcing. Another challenge could be, right, the surrender statement that we just did before, right? When we were speaking about I realize, I trust, I choose, and always use gratitude. And I just left an example here. Attachment can be if I let go, I will lose control. What is the surrender? Letting go aligns me with a wiser path, for example. Or, this outcome will define me. No, what we can say is my essence is beyond any outcome. Here, the example was I need this to happen exactly my way. Maybe there is a better way, a greater way to happen. I trust a higher timing and intelligence guiding my life. Maybe there is a greater way to do it. Just to clarify, separation is the illusion created by attachment. So the challenge should help you loosen attachment and move towards surrender and unity consciousness. This is the goal. And to finalize, we still have time for our breakout room. I'd like you to share one insight from today, something that made sense for you, maybe a challenge, maybe something you are feeling. Sometimes it's harder to speak when everybody is here and we prefer to be individually. Ready to go? Open all rooms.